Racing Drivers Club, and it does afford, it's pretty well the first race for the purely racing car for the last 2 years, and it does afford the British public a chance to see what some of the fastest cars in this country, and indeed in the world, can accomplish in the way of speed. Would you say a few words to Movietone, please?
What should we talk about, Jake?
What can we all say?
We mustn't swear, I suppose, but we're reproducing.
This race, which has been one of the most grueling I've been in.
Go on, Jack, say it together in chorus, shall we?
We're both very happy to have won this wonderful race, and we think you're all very nice to have made such a fuss of us.
Yes, I quite agree. All I'm waiting for now is a drink.
Brooklands opening meeting naturally draws a big crowd of racing enthusiasts, for in addition to the fact that it's the first of the year and that the weather is fine, there is a glorious feeling of freedom as regards speed. Brooklands keeps the world safe for motorists. Here are no irksome restrictions. Here motorists can go as fast as they like with impunity, and if they do skid, there's only a barrel or two in the way and no pedestrians.
They're off, 42 of them on the International Trophy Race at Brooklands. The handicapping is unique. The faster the car, the more tricky the artificial bends. So it's neck-and-neck racing for 260 miles, and can they shift? The winner is the first to finish, and the first to finish by a split second is B. Bira, Prince Birabongzi of Siam Tiusa. Rate of progress 91 miles per hour.
Bank holiday at Brooklands, always a popular meeting, attracted a smart gathering to witness the racing. The chief event, the match between the two big cars, proved disappointing as one car had to be substituted at the last moment. But there was plenty of interest in the other races. In the mountain events, the acute corner claimed its usual number of hair-raising skids. And so from the track to one of Brooklands' old favourites, now racing on water. It is good to see a man who refuses to be beaten. And when Imshi wins America's Gold Cup on Lake George, all his friends are delighted that the premier motorboat prize of the States has been won by Kaye, whose acknowledgement is typically cheerful.
We ought to conclude our proceedings by filling this very excellent trophy with some of your very, very fine champagne.
To watch the 200 at Brooklands, one adult can bring 3 schoolboys this year. A good idea, though a certain amount of cheating is done. It's a massed start for this classic race, run over the Campbell course, and there's a big field of 26. It hasn't been run at Brooklands since 1928. Our editor is on the spot with camera, not car, today. 88 laps of just over 2 miles each make up the distance, and when the field is thinned out, the race develops into a duel between Wakefield, number 18, and B. Berra, number 9. Johnny Wakefield holds his lead and goes on to win. A garland and a well-deserved spot of champagne follow his triumph. Pardon me. Varied fare at Brooklands for the Whitsun Tide holiday. Sports cars and racing cars both engaged, and whoops, the daring drivers skid their 4 or sometimes 2 wheels round the acute corners of the famous circuit. Here and there something untoward occurs, but nothing serious. There are no spectators out in the country when the warning to keep off the grass is neglected. And even if the occasional driver goes into reverse, nobody bumps him in the rear. It's very different at Indianapolis, where the big event of America's motoring year draws the most intrepid speed merchants of the States into a vortex of whirling wheels and ferocious exhausts. There have been years when Indianapolis claimed its half-dozen crashes. Today, the camera catches one. The flying wheel hit a spectator as it descended. The car somersaulted its way to ruin, but the injured driver was saved to race another day.
There was real holiday weather over Whitsun and no international crises to report, so the motor car came back into its own. And with feminine interest not altogether absent, there was something like an old Brooklands picture to be seen beside the well-worn track. Speed on the track may be an old-fashioned form of amusement in these hectic days, but there was plenty of it, and spectators certainly got their money's worth, what with skids and the soothing melody of racing car engines. Brooklands racetrack might well be described as a war casualty. A new blow has been struck at the hopes of racing enthusiasts. Vickers have bought Brooklands and the track will no longer be used for racing. A hangar blocks the course near the start, where once the cars roared away to thrill spectators and keep British racing prestige so high. This is the track itself, which was covered over with scrub and trees for camouflage, and there were canvas houses built on the banking to deceive the German Air Force. Naturally enough, racing enthusiasts don't take very kindly to the new order, and Earl Howe sums up just one aspect, the motor industry's case.
The British public as a whole probably looks upon Brooklands as purely a racing track. The public probably doesn't realize that Brooklands is the only place where observed tests of a motor car at high speed can be carried out. For instance, it is possible to send the ordinary production model of any make of car you like to Brooklands and tell the driver to go on around the track for 1, 2, or 3 hours at sustained high speed without taking his foot off. and all that is of immense importance to the car manufacturer. The only alternative to Brooklands is to carry out the tests on the public highway, which is obviously undesirable from the point of view of public safety.
A lot of people will share his regret as they think back to the good old days, days when bank holiday meetings were thronged with enthusiasts and our cameras followed the cars round the banking while they jockeyed for the winning position. Today, a similar shot from the same place looks like this. Depressing, isn't it? Now let's dwell again for a moment on things as they were. In future, I suppose the focal point of British racing will be the road track at Dunnington, at present requisitioned by the War Office. No, I'm afraid there's no doubt about it. Brooklands has had it.